Getting good grades in your college years, and especially as an international student, is really important for your motivation while you're living and studying abroad. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you 4 tricks that did it for me. Before I do that, let me explain to you that the grading system is nothing more than a way for universities to evaluate how you were able to interpret and absorb all the information that you were taught during that course, which means that if you get a better grade than someone who might have had a harder time understanding that, that doesn't mean that you're a better person than them, or the other way around. If you get a worse grade than the guy who got A plus in each of its courses, that doesn't mean that you're worse than them. Now, with that being said, it is important that when you pursue your studies, you get good grades, since it's going to be a way for you to evaluate your own performance and realize in which areas you need to improve. Now, as an international student here in France, I've realized that one culture shock that I found out is that the French professors tend to be different than the ones that we have in America. And by America, I mean Latin America, but also the US, and to a certain extent Canada, where they are there only to give you the classes. They're very direct. They're not to waste time, the European professors in general. And that is something that you need to understand when you're studying abroad. The French public system, when it comes to education, it's very, very strict. I got a 14 out of 20. It might sound that I'm not as good when it comes to being an international student holding a scholarship. But the truth is, it's very hard in France to get a 16 out of 20 or something higher than that. Without further ado, let me provide you the 4 tips. The first one is to make sure you participate in class. And by participating in class, you'll be able to understand more what the professor is explaining. So don't be afraid in raising your hand, in asking questions. And you can actually make sure you are able to understand everything by sitting in the front row. We live in a generation where everything is fast, everything requires a quick dopamine boost, especially through social media. So it's harder for us to remain concentrated in a task. So if you want to avoid any type of distractions, please make sure you sit in the front row. The second tip that I can give you is take good notes. And by good notes, I mean notes that you actually understand. Once you are reviewing your notes a week prior before your finals, you can do that by adding bold character to your letters, to your headers, and also a highlighter to the important words or sentences or phrases. You can also add numbers to the statistics and also enumerate certain bullet points. Those are going to be really important for you, so that you make sure that your notes are visually friendly, that you are actually motivated to read those documents. Also, we live in a very technological era, so it's very likely that you'll be writing your notes now on a computer with a keyboard through a software. With that being said, every now and then it's really important for you to write down notes on a piece of paper or notebook with a pen or a pencil, especially information that sometimes even the professor gives us hints, letting us know that that will come on the exam. They're literally telling us, giving us the answers. So please make sure you write down those ones, because it's going to be easier for you to retain that information. The third advice that I can provide you, let them know when you don't understand something. As an international student, it's going to be even harder for you to understand something, especially if you don't speak that language as your mother tongue. Sometimes you'll have a hard time with the language and you won't understand. In my personal case, my mother tongue is Spanish and my second language is English, and the grand majority of my classes are in French. So please make sure that you don't hesitate or feel bad by asking any question to your professors or to your colleagues. That is totally valid. I believe that in your adolescent and early adult years, one key game changer for your success will be you developing a thick skin, which means that you don't care about what others thinks about you. You don't care about looking dumb. At the end of the day, you're there in a class to learn. So don't be afraid to ask a question. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. So that way you're understanding well what the professors are trying and their lecturers are trying to explain to you. And the fourth element that I can be really important for me is to study at least every week. And make sure you review every day for 15 days, ideally from Monday through Friday. If you feel more comfortable reviewing on a weekend, 1 hour on a Saturday, another on Sunday, go ahead and do that. But the third and worst option would be for you to review everything 1 week before your finals. I believe that if you're able to manage your time wisely, you can definitely have 15 to 30 minutes from Monday through Friday to review your notes. And also considering that you might be studying while also having a job on the weekends, is totally valid for you to be able to read some notes and understand what you were taught during the weekdays. And with this, I'm pretty sure that you will be able to perform well during your exams. I think preparation is key. And as a scholarship holder, I believe that you can actually get good grades. Another pro tip that I can give you is to work out while you're studying abroad. And with that, you can watch this video where I spoke last week about how discipline in my fitness life translated to academic discipline and therefore allowed me to get a full scholarship to study abroad, and how it has helped me to remain motivated while being an international student. It's a science-based video that I made. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please hit a like, subscribe, comment, any idea or suggestions that you might have, and I'll see you on the next one.